This match, we got Alex taking on Jeremy. This was the last tournament match in my class before the third lockdown here in Nova Scotia, and it was a good one. So both guys came out looking to wrestle, which is good to see. No gi. Both guys trying to get a hold of each other's head to kind of pull the head down, potentially set up shots. Alex maybe looking for an arm drag there. Jeremy shoots in. Alex looks like he was briefly on a guillotine. Jeremy picks the leg up high, tries to put him down, but Alex tried to hit a nice reversal. So let's see again there. Jeremy shoots in, but you can see Alex is ready to catch his head like he's catching a football. So he's got a good attempt at a guillotine here. He maybe should have stuck with it and just tried to ride out the guillotine, but maybe it was Jeremy kind of picking his leg up, but Alex's arm came out, and then he kind of got caught fishing for it again, and then instead decides to take an overhook. As he goes down, he elevates and lifts Jeremy and takes him to his back, but he rolled the wrong way, and he should have turned towards Jeremy's legs to try to get the points. That was a nice job by Jeremy securing the single, but Alex is able to pull the head, and since he had that foot in the middle of the legs, he took him over, but he should have went the other way, because as they turn, they're both able to stand up. If Alex would have went towards Jeremy's legs, he could have likely secured the points and ended up in a top half guard or guard situation. But nothing lost, nothing gained. They end up back on the feet, but that did cost both guys quite a bit of energy. And remember, it's still in the first minute of the match. So now Jeremy pulls guard, showing some nice diversity, puts Alex's butt to the floor. Now he's looking to get up. He pulls himself up with a collar tie, but he ends up back on the bottom. He's able to reverse, not long enough for the points. So once Jeremy pulls himself up to here and he's established top position, right about here, he should switch and instead go underhook with that left arm instead of collar tie. Once you're on top like that, the collar tie isn't doing you as much good anymore. You should switch to an underhook so you can staple your opponent's back to the floor. That let Alex turn, and now he's able to get back on top and reverse the position. So it was a nice attempt by Jeremy. He almost scored with that single leg X. He did a very nice job of putting the guard on, but just wasn't able to capitalize. And now Alex is putting the pressure on and really trying to sprawl heavy against those legs. He looks to jump to the other side, but Jeremy catches him nicely with that half guard. Alex showing good pressure on top here. Jeremy's got to be real careful of his left arm position here, because Alex could have potentially locked in a head and arm choke here. I think he quickly realized it because he tries to bring his arm down, but Alex had a good chance to isolate that left arm of Jeremy and either use that to transition to a head and arm choke, or Americana attacks on that arm. He could use it to try to maybe progress to mount. But he's doing a good job here. He's locked onto that cross face. See how his left bicep is right against Jeremy's face. Now he releases. Instead he goes to a reverse half guard, but Jeremy's doing a really good job there, posting with his hands and trying to create space. At this point, Alex wants to take all the space away. Jeremy wants to open up space, get his legs back in the equation so he can get some type of guard, and he's got it here, and he's got a guillotine from half guard. Can be difficult to finish sometimes, and Alex is doing the right thing coming forward. Jeremy should maybe look to elevate Alex the same way Alex elevated him and took him over from a takedown scramble. But it can be tough to finish the guillotine there, and he lets go, but he tries to slip out the back door. Jeremy should be trying to come up on top, and now Alex should be trying to shrimp and move his hips away. So Jeremy establishes top position here. And I believe that's going to get him 2 points for a sweep. Since Jeremy started that sequence in bottom half guard, and he ends up on top, the sweep came from a guard. Therefore, it's 2-0 right now for Jeremy. And the pace has been quite high for these two guys to start off. It's very tough when you're competing to try to kind of gear down, but you should always try to kind of build to a peak, as they say, rather than just emptying your gas tank in the first couple minutes. Jeremy did a nice job there trying to secure the back control. He's got to get that left hook in. He can either try to look to break Alex down to the mat, pulling his hips to the floor. He's riding up a little bit too high here. He's got to try to lock back onto that seat belt and try to find space for that foot. Alex is doing a good job trying to shake Jeremy off. Jeremy switches to a front headlock. Alex is looking to try to roll away from him or maybe secure a single leg. Looks like Jeremy's maybe thinking about a Darce choke. There are good opportunities to attack Darce chokes from here if you're Jeremy, or just stay in control like he did, switch back to a turtle. He should really be a little bit more on his toes and driving his hip into Alex's hip, but that was a nice job to pull him off balance, forcing Alex to play defense. Now Alex tries to go for the single leg. He's got to be careful of getting crucifix there. And now he drives back into Jeremy. See, since Jeremy wasn't really on his toes and pressing his weight into Alex, Alex was able to kind of maneuver him there, and he slipped off the back. Nice escape by Alex, but let's see what happened with Jeremy's positioning there. As he tried to recover, so Alex jumped into him. They got back to this position. Jeremy's hips are riding up too high. His hips are over Alex's upper back at this point. You need hips over hips. Because if your hips are over his upper back, he's going to be able to lift his butt up and kind of shake you off, which is what ended up happening there. So Jeremy didn't secure the 4 points for the back because he didn't have both hooks. Although he's still up 2-0. Now he's on bottom, and Alex is trying to pass around those legs. Alex is really going to try to sprawl heavy on Jeremy's left leg there, just like he did, and now he's starting to come around the corner. Jeremy's doing a real good job with his left elbow, trying to protect his elbow knee space, and he avoided getting scored on there by going to turtle, but he's got to be careful because you can be attacked with submissions from turtle. Alex is trying to pull Jeremy over. He doesn't have a whole lot of time that he's working with here, but if he did secure the back control, that'd put him up 4-2. He's still down 2-0, remember. Jeremy recovered half guard nicely there, in a little less danger than what he was in turtle. Alex going for a reverse half guard again. You can see kind of some of the similar patterns repeating themselves in the match. Remember that first time Jeremy was able to kind of two-hand stiff arm him away, but doesn't have quite as much energy this time, but he's able to hold on and secure the points victory. Just a 5-minute match, but a lot of good points in there. We saw a nice hook sweep, some nice single leg X work, but the biggest takeaway is definitely the pacing of these matches. You got to slow it down a little bit to start off, and then once it gets a minute or two in, then kick it into second gear, third gear, and then that's when you should kind of be looking to empty your gas tank as it gets more towards the end of the match rather than in the first minute.